Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Memory Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you an NFL Week 6 preview between the Minnesota Vikings and the Washington Redskins. Now let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with Minnesota.
When I look at the Minnesota Vikings, I look at the linebacking core versus the running game of the Washington Redskins. Guys like Chad Greenway, Jasper Brinkley, Aaron Henderson. Those guys are going to have to play a huge game this week, as I think the Redskins will go a little bit less of the read option and just more of a zone type of attack. So those linebackers have to come in and fill those gaps and get these guys off the field. You also look at Jared Allen, the defensive end, wants to get after the QB, but he's going to have to play with some controlled aggressiveness this week and play with contain, to be aware of the backside bootleg and also the sprint outs. But let's go inside the lab to see how the Vikings can keep their own athletic quarterback well protected.
In order for the Vikings to keep up their winning ways, they're going to have to utilize the 3 P's: protecting, ponder, passing. And Ponder is very athletic. You want to get him out there on those sprint out protections. So how can we protect him when we roll him out? Simple. Everyone takes that zone step. You have backside guard, influence blocking whoever's going to come behind, as well as the backside left tackle. So you got to make sure you get those guys out there to seal off the backside. Center in zone step. He's pretty much keying on this nose tackle here. Play side guard, zone step. His job is this Mike backer. If this guy is coming, that's his man. Zone step. That way you can hit this guy out here in the flat, come back route. And this is also key to block this guy here. You want to get this fullback out there right away blocking. Running back also right away blocking in case his strong safety wants to come up and blitz. And then you sprint Ponder out behind it. And that way you essentially got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys blocking, almost a max protect, keeping his read simple. 1, 2, or even 3 in some cases if you want to get a third guy out there. But you're protecting Ponder, you're getting him on the move, and you're getting the football out of his hands quickly. And that's how you can play winning football if you're the Minnesota Vikings.
Now let's move over to the Redskins in this ball game. I mentioned it earlier. I think they're going to utilize Robert Griffin III less on the read option and more just on the zone and boots type of plays. And also it has to fall on the offensive line. Those guys have to do a better job of protecting up front. Jared Allen's going against Trent Williams this week. That's a huge matchup that Williams has to win each and every play to keep Robert Griffin clean in the pocket. But keep an eye on Niles Paul. I think the second tight end will have a huge impact in this ball game, as I think most of the attention will be focused on Fred Davis. But let's go inside the lab to see how that Redskins defense can get pressure on the athletic Christian Ponder of the Minnesota Vikings.
The Redskins can get creative in their pressure packages versus Christian Ponder by fooling him with the zone blitz. And we have right here, we're going to draw up a zone blitz. Simple scheme. Why? You have it's disguised as cover 3, but it's really cover 1. Because really, we just dropping this free safety beat. Cover 1, he's a deep guy back there. We're going to protect underneath. These guys are manned up on their wide receivers. You see right here, we got the backer coming in this gap, in coming around, in coming crashing down as the Mike backer comes around as well. Here's where we get creative. We're going to send this strong safety. Prior to the snap, he's going to walk up. At the snap of the ball, boom, he shoots out, because this guy has his drop responsibility. And we have right here the nose dropping back to replace this Mike backer. So you see right there where Ponder can get confused, because if this guy wants to run this route here, he can easily get it picked off, not by the nose tackle, but the nose tackle will be in his sight line. Or if this guy shoots out to try to get rid of it quickly, the backer right here can easily make the play. And you can also result to some turnovers. So you can get creative in finding ways to fooling Christian Ponder with the zone blitz if you're the Washington Redskins.
I think protection is key in this ball game for the Vikings, so that's why I have Matt Khalil as my X factor. He's going to have to keep that pocket clean for Ponder so he can find those targets downfield. X factor for the Redskins has to be London Fletcher. Stopping and run is mission number 1 versus Minnesota. If they can do that, they put it all on Ponder and those wide receivers completing passes downfield. Now let's take a look at the personnel breakdown in this ball game. I honestly think both teams are equally matched with personnel. They come to the table with sound personnel in every aspect of the game. The Redskins don't have the offensive line as far as pass protection is concerned, but in the running game, they are very solid. I like the Redskins in this ball game. I think the ability to throw the football downfield and not dink and dunk their way down the field will prove to be a huge asset this week, as Minnesota may be able to stop the running game. So it's going to come down to the two young quarterbacks and who could throw the football more effectively. I'm going to go with RG3 and the Redskins passing attack over Minnesota. I also want to give a huge shout out to Redskin fan forums and Viking fan forums for always showing football game plan support.